So this will be part two on the other bad iMac camera, and we're gonna keep talking about the shits. Um, another good mythology that you kind of have to think about is this. If you're going to be an artist or a creative person, but let's just say artist. Let's say that you want to be specifically an artist in the 21st century. There's a lot of bullshit that you have to deal with. One of the bullshit things is this dumb modern postmodern thing. So that's dumb. It's awful to have to talk about that. The other thing is the idea that everything is so bad now that you can just very easily convince everybody to be making things all the time, or like making art constantly, and that causes a different sort of problem because I don't have, and people I know don't have any control over things like TikTok or stuff like that. So those are bad because they, and we'll just talk in dumb terms like that, good, bad, okay? We'll just say that TikTok and Instagram are bad because they form like dumbass recursion patterns where you might be making exact copies of Basquiat paintings, and people might say something like, you're just copying Basquiat paintings one for one, and then you'd be like, well, art can be whatever you want it to be. So that's a good example. Because you have a million followers, you get to do this thing where you're like, well, it's supposed to be like that, or it's supposed to be bad. This country's doing a genocide. It's supposed to be doing that. It's in the Bible. That's what it does. It's supposed to be doing that. That's what it is. So those are all fallacies, and those are impossible to deal with, and they're stupid. So the way to like negate that is to deal with it culturally. So you have to be the kind of person who is constantly just working towards the process, the goal, working towards the goal of indeterminate forwardness, because you're not living in a culture where you have like these meaningful like Homeric myths, because they wouldn't even, I mean, you know, they might have different words for it, but they're not talking about it functionally like a myth, because the language connotations for mythology are just kind of, they preemptively shoot down anything that you might find meaningful in it as a takeaway. So do you even live in, and are you the kind of person who's able to hear takeaways like that and play with them? I'm not talking about just saying if it's true or false. Like, did Prometheus fall out of the sky and give people this like Luciferian type of intelligence? You know, true or false? No, don't maybe think about it that way. Maybe that's not as helpful as just taking away the poetic looseness or the poetic value of something and using it to do something else. Even if it just rolls around in inside of your head, it can still generate more indeterminacy. So, I mean, maybe it doesn't bother you. Maybe it doesn't bother you that we live in a super pointed world where everybody either wants the apocalypse to happen or they are in a place where they don't really care if the apocalypse happens. And there's a lot of different versions of it. So I think that people get bogged down in the details about the apocalypse thing. Whether or not it happens, you know, you're basically stuck with just different types of suicidal ideas. They're suicidal ideas. They don't go anywhere, and they don't generate culture. And that should be your primary goal, one way or another, to generate some kind of culture. So I mean, as a person, I deeply resent the fact that it's so hard to form groups now. And I don't even think I'm just talking about like what it means to be an adult in America. I think it's so difficult to form like an art movement, even as a joke. You can't. There's no time to do something like that. There's not a lot of time or energy to make it happen, because I mean, ultimately, you're probably going to run into some kind of material issue that just makes it impossible to go forward, just impossible to continue doing it. And then there are like the quote unquote surrogate activities and things that don't help us. They can help us. Things like movies or Netflix, phone time, going on your phone. They can help you if you train and become loose enough to use it as material for your personal mythology. Like going on the computer and seeing ridiculous things. It sometimes can give you energy to make art or to make strange things. Something else I'm interested in is like UFO stuff, and things like that are funny because they don't have to be completely 100% true in order for it to be helpful in some way. So again, I mean, we've already talked about that, but let's say that you're reading about like UFO abduction stories, and some of the people in these stories are like, the aliens were like obsessed with humanity because they didn't have the creativity genes that we have. Like, they couldn't be creative or whatever. Like, okay, fine. Just, you can use that. That's extremely good. You can play with that. But I don't want all of the ways that we play with things to be on the computer, on Discord. And maybe things really do suck a lot right now, but you have to meet people in person. You have to meet people in person. You have to draw in person. You have to make art in person. And you have to talk about things in person. Because this stuff, like, I can't understand it. The purpose of it seems to just be to make us anxious. It just seems to be, this is designed to make you freaked out, like neurologically just kind of freaked out. So I don't, think that it's good for our most meaningful types of activities to be in such close proximity to this thing that just freaks you out. It's just designed to freak you out. I mean, really, what other things is it for? I mean, you could be using it for school or like intellectual pursuits, or maybe you're a scientist or something, and maybe you're a scientist and your prerogative is to make enough food, money to like have something to do, but ultimately science in the 21st century is way more dumb and less exciting than it used to be, unless you are interested in dark shell corporation science, which I'm interested in. That's cool. Skunk Works is cool. Lockheed Martin is not cool, but I mean, learning about things like that is more exciting than listening to people give science lectures about things that, if it's true that there are even remotely possible that other people just know that something is possible, and these guys that charge you $500 for a textbook at college are saying that it's impossible. It's like, well, you'd obviously want to go rule out this other thing before you listen to this idiot on YouTube, try to tell you that what spiders are doing is some type of cognition and it's not thinking, as an example. So you also have to interrogate why you watch things like that. Why do I watch things like that? Why do you watch science videos? You might want to know something about the world. You might want to be sure about something in the world, or you might be curious. So if we look at any of those, let's just look at the curiosity one. Where is the curiosity pointed at? Is the curiosity that I'm growing out of the spider video organized around wanting to know the truth about things? Is it organized around wanting to see other types of intelligence as like equal to my own intelligence? Or it could be something that's like not yet disclosed, some kind of raw interestedness that you might have in something. So it's annoying. I know it's annoying. I know that it's annoying to be somebody who says shit like this all the time, but people need to be making things. They need to be making art. They need to be making indeterminate things. I mean, during COVID, you had all these people who were like, look at me, I'm going crazy. I'm, painting bookshelves, or I'm doing shabby chic painting bookshelves and stuff. I made a birdhouse. I'm going fucking crazy. Like, you probably should be doing things like that. anyways, because if your whole purpose in life is just to get things together and then kind of die and leave somebody else a shitty, dumb box to live in, and you never made a cardboard igloo, and went inside of it in your whole life, that's pathetic. You need to be making cardboard igloos and shit and going inside of them. Okay, so I'm constantly angry about this all the time, constantly deeply frustrated about this. It seems to be like a lot of people just tell you to chill it. It's like, I get it, yeah, I know, I can turn the I'm normal and I'm not normal thing off. You kind of have to do that if you want to have a job and do anything. So, yeah, I understand that that's how it works, but people need to be making things. People need to be making art. They need to be making speculative decisions. They need to be challenging what they think is cool and what they think is uncool. Something I like to do when I'm drawing is take things that I think are dumb and then use them and then play with them and force yourself to come up with new formal reconfigurations for what's cool or not cool. Be doing this all the time. See a structure in your head start to form and then kind of take it apart. You don't need to destroy it, just kind of take it apart. But when you explain when you're explaining these things to somebody that has the balls to disagree with you in like kind of a frontal sort of way, you can be aggressive about it. I mean, you can be psychotic about it if you need to. I mean, you can be just like, I don't do that, kind of shit. So I think that's fine. You can do that. You can be kind of mean about it. But that Roland Barthes book, Mythologies, that book is interesting because you take something like a tool, and without going too much into the dumb semiotic stuff, you can play with it like a material poem, and then use your material poem muscle in your brain and turn it into the inventive drawing part of your brain, or the inventive drawing painting part of your brain, or look at things like an underpass and imagine things happening to it. Look at things like some of these dumb buildings full of cigarettes and McDonald's and like just dumb stuff that does help us do all these things, but it's dumb stuff. It's stupid. So you don't have to intellectualize that. Just be kind of rude about it. It's dumb. It's dumb stuff. It's garbage. So and I just went to McDonald's, and it's dumb. It's bad. When you see something like that you've had no effect on, you want to train your brain how to think about how you could make effects on things. Like if I was in the McDonald's, I would fill it with water, and we would have a watertight McDonald's. The McDonald's would be totally full of water, and it would be full of water like a standing, constant sculpture. It would be full of water forever. We would never let the water out. The highway by the McDonald's, we're going to fill the entire valley with water. And we're going to have Colosseum battles inside of it. We're going to excavate underneath the McDonald's, and we're just going to have a constant excavation there. So here's maybe kind of what I'm outlining. If you want to be a person who's super speculative about things and you play with things, there's other people who are going to tell you that you're not going to have a functional society if you think that way. But you can kind of give it there's like plausible deniability there. Like you don't have to physically enact all of these things, but if you train your brain to be more inventive about the environments you're seeing and playing with, your life will get better without having to actually do it. So you're going to alleviate a lot of stress. You're going to alleviate some of these terror forms, So part of it is that you have to accept that you are going to die. A lot of us are probably going to die, probably in bad ways, like horrible ways. Whether it's because of some kind of climate thing, or if it's because of a disease or a war. No one leaves Earth well. Usually, it's usually very difficult to do that. So I, as an artist in Planet Stupid, don't see as a stupid artist in Planet Stupid. I would rather play than be teleologically oriented towards some kind of apocalypse that is not guaranteed in any way. And by guaranteeing it or trying to make it happen at all, you you might as well just be playing with four-leaf clovers and sticks in a field, inventing games out of it. But also social things. It's very important to be social. It's very important to find people who are really, really like you. So if you can do that, try to do it. Try to do it. Try to find people that are very close to like you. I know sometimes people say that there's pushback. Pushback is important. Not really. Okay? Not really. If you're an artist, you're constantly already doing that. You're constantly already pushing back, reevaluating things, and not in some kind of American society driven way where you have this like net negative psychology that's constantly just eating itself. I did this wrong. I feel bad. I can't do it right. I need to reach out and oppress somebody else, or say something weird on the internet to somebody, or make a weird post that's like really aggressive and defiant. You don't need to do that. You can just be training this by being somebody who draws all the time, and then it can kind of naturally just happen. You're constantly second guessing yourself, and that's the fun of it. That's part of what play is this tension in between knowing and unknowing, and going back and forth between the two. I think that's all I have for now. I really don't like this college shit. So you can be anti-intellectual and say that, and then go read a lot and think a lot. So you can be somebody that's split. It doesn't make sense, but you have to kind of find other people that are maybe split and don't make sense, but are not self-destructive. So stay away from people who are self-destructive. If you're self-destructive, you need to draw more, or paint more, or make a cardboard igloo in your room and invent mythologies that are going to help you turn into something. And that's as far as it can go. So you need to turn into something, and you need to invent mythologies that you can have kind of playfully destabilize your head, because it's too rough out there. It's too insane. Because if you don't drink every day and smoke cigarettes and smoke weed or do other things, it's like basically just impossible to not turn into the kind of person who just goes home and watches movies, or go on your phone all day. Like, what? Seriously? Like, what the hell, man? Like, oh my god, that's it's not good. Like, it's not good. And not even in a smart way. I don't want to be smart about it. It's bad. It's really, really fucking bad. It's extremely bad. It's like one of the worst things that's ever happened. It's really, really bad. The phone is bad. TV is bad. What Does Nuts was right. Infinite Jest was right. TV is bad. It's bad. And here's a good example of absorbing a mythology just to play with it. They probably are giving you signals through the TV. They're probably flashing like subliminal pictures of like gore or something on the TV when you watch TV. So every time we turn on the TV, remember that. So IPs bad, right? It's bad. Fallout bad. Star Wars bad. You can play with it and watch it, but play with it. Play with it. If you have to like break it apart in your head a little bit to say it's bad, then you can play with it. But play with it. You have to play with it. Don't just let these things kind of jerk you around all the time. It's bad, okay? It's very bad. So I'm not going to try to do anything crazy or be smart about it, or like read a bunch of passages from a book on YouTube, okay? I'll write things and say other things, but phone bad, okay? Phone bad. Drawing good. Drawing indeterminate. Drawing is purposeful and unpurposeful at the same time. Drawing doesn't require language or explanations, okay? You have to be very serious about it. I have to put this out there. Pathological need to put this out there. It's fucking bad for you to do this other shit, okay? Drawing is good. Drawing is cheap. Drawing is one of the only places in the world where you are calling the shots. And I understand why people don't do it. That's a terrifying place to be. Okay, if you found out that you were going to live with like 55 people in some, huge rundown dilapidated mansion, and they were all doing dishes in a different part of the house, and every day you didn't know what you were going to cook or what you were going to eat, if you didn't have somewhere to like cook or make your food or do the dishes. I got to do my dishes in the bathtub today. It's like, I can't find my pan. I left it outside. You need to grow into the kind of person that is going to be loose enough to enjoy finding creative solutions to things. And then, metaphorically, you can leave those shitty environments if you become skilled enough at change. You have to become skilled and really enjoy it at changing yourself and at shifting things around and becoming different, okay? But it's fun. It's not a big deal, okay? Most of us are going to like explode or get some kind of fasciitis or fibromyalgia and die, okay? Drawing, and I'll be a little bit annoying here. Drawing is how you grow your astral body, okay? And I'm not going to confirm whether I believe that or not. But in a way, I want to not confirm that in a way that lets you know that I know that you need to at least think about that a little bit. Play with it. Drawing will grow your astral body. Watching TV will grow your asshole body. So if you watch TV all the time, you just become an a-hole. But if you draw all the time or are interested in that, you will become astral. Okay, so just to sum it up, I'm an anti-intellectual. I think that college is bad. Art college is not bad, but it should be free and I should be running it. 2, things should not make sense. They really shouldn't. And 4, things should not make sense. They really shouldn't. And 5, sports is bad, dude. It's bad. Football, baseball, but they're awesome to play. Beautiful things to play. So you have to become the kind of person who's going to be willing to make a cardboard igloo in your room, build playful, indeterminate structures on the ruins of dumbass shit that other people are forcing you to engage with every day. Here's a good example of this. If anybody has the balls, you can remake Pirates of the Caribbean out of shit in your room. And do the whole movie in your room. And don't even let that be like a cliche, like where we remade Twilight in our backyard. Don't forget about the cliche. Just do it and move from one thing to the next, and don't explain it to anybody unless you need a little bit of money. If you need a little bit of money and you need to financialize the process a little bit, you can do that. Just don't, get stuck in your head about it. And don't make like, don't like financialize it as an IP. That would be bad. Like if you did it to Twilight and then you just kept doing it to every movie, that would be bad. Unless you did some very tricky things with the language. So you need to do all these things that I'm saying. You need to draw. You need to make weird shit in your house. You need to, what else? You need to be crazy, okay?